Streaming cyberspace into your place, sponsored by Gargamel's Kitchen from Southern National Speedway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's 8th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Gargamel's Kitchen Late Model Invitational Series, Season 23. How many ways can you describe the Mona Lisa, the Hallelujah Chorus, Citizen Kane? Be it the masterpieces of Da Vinci, Handel, or Wells, after a while, the adjectives become heavy-handed. But it's the quick-handed reflexes on the wheel of the number 98 late model hot rod of J.R. Shepherd that has all who are witness flipping through the pages of their thesauri. But Shepherd's competition, many with potential for victory, such as Michael Goodman, Jeffrey Harden, Jason Menda, are here to force the stray brushstroke, the sour note, the unfocused lens. A BRL season is 11 races long. Shepherd has won the first 7. Perfection. Just this and 3 more races away. So pull the lever on the lazy boy and settle in for some Shakespearean soliloquy that is the simulated short track racing efforts of one J.R. Shepherd. Beneath the weight of a blue-painted Carolina blue sky, a warm hello and welcome on this Saturday night, August 19th, 2023. Papa John Hine joins yours truly, Bill Susan, high up in the BGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. Replay Ryan Seneker, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, John, tell us a little bit about this place and the car track combination.
This is one of my favorite tracks we come to. My favorite to drive on, my favorite to watch, and definitely my favorite to call a race with you, Soup. But this is a track that's going to provide plenty of excitement here tonight. Watch the trouble spots to be off turn 2 and coming out of turn 4. The cars want to get loose. They want to push. They want to do all kinds of things, sometimes unpredictable, and drivers can get themselves in trouble real quick getting out of the corners here. And other than that, you know what? I think it'll be easy sailing for them. But like I said, those corners, better beware.
John talked about excitement. Well, excitement is probably the last thing you want when you go into the kitchen looking to cook a meal. You just want things to work. And if that's the case, then Gargamel's Kitchen, that's the place for you. They're a high-quality food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit them at 2045 South Valencia Street or call Gargamel's Kitchen at 720-707-6178 and snap along with me. Gargamel's Kitchen is the best. Everyone else is just the rest. All right, quickly, before they start to grid up, let's look at the points. You know, there were no drivers making season debuts at Sobo, so the numbers of drivers who have raced at least once this season remains at 30, with 10 having raced in all previous 7 events. J.R. Shepherd has more than an entire race lead on the field. Matt Hoos missed the top 10 his first 3 races. It's been nothing but top 10s ever since. Kurt Smith has been a slump of late. He gets a good starting position tonight. Mac Locomo Shanoski, well, he's going to climb a position. Asobo 13th was Michael Goodman's first result of this season. Just the opposite for Bruce Pearson, as Asobo 4th was his best. Ribeye Joe Snyder leads all drivers and incidents points collected. Todd Liston was a Sobo no-show, costing him not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 positions in the standings. And Joe Segala and John Wilson swap positions. With that, we're going to talk about our spotlighted driver. It's a driver that we haven't really get to see a lot racing up front. We're talking about Jeffrey Happy Kemper. He's got an 8th and a 10th so far in his 5 attempts. The other races, John, have been near the back of the pack. Simon and Poindexter, well, they've set the number at 11 and a half. So bet the under if you think that Jeffrey can do 11th or better. Bet the over if you think Kemper will go 12th or worse. What say you?
Well, being my teammate, I'm going to say under.
Okay.
And, you know, I know Jeff's talent, and I know tracks, and I know his driving style. This is a track that actually, in all honesty, I think is going to suit his driving style. It's just going to be a matter of staying out of trouble, and I think he'll get the finish here that he's looking for.
All right, well, we got all the business out of the way, except for one last piece of business, and that is to tell you who's going to be on the grid here tonight. So with that, let's go ahead and tell you how this is going to work. I'll take the front row. Now, it's going to be John Wilson, and then we talked about Kurt Smith having a good starting position. So far, Kurt has yet to grid up his car. Hopefully he'll get there, but that's the front row, hopefully. John Wilson and Kurt Smith. John, who's in row 2?
Row number 2 is going to be the number 28. That's Michael Goodman. And next to him is going to be Joe Segala starting 4th.
Row 3 has both drivers out there. That's Joseph Snyder. And, hey, Kenny Kibbe is here in the number 14. Watch out for him. He's fast. That could be trouble for Shepard's perfect season.
It certainly could. Following those guys in row number 4 is going to be Hoos. I hear something about Hoosinators or Hoosamania or something. We'll probably get into that a little later. Matt Hoos starts 7th. Next to him is going to be Shanowski, and that one's going to be the Matt Shanowski.
Donnie Moore and Bruce Pearson going to fill up 9 and 10.
Jeff Harden and the aforementioned J.R. Shepard, perfect season intact. He's going to start tonight from 12.
In the Baker's Dozen spot is Bobby Hayes. He's going to be inside of our spotlighted driver, Jeffrey Happy Kemper.
Starting 15th, going to be Mark Herzog. Next to him will be Brian Dean.
17th and 18th, Darrell Weinecker, Todd Liston.
And shotgun on the field is going to be the 24 of Austin Belke and Adam Shane. But I think a couple of guys are going to go to the back, though. I think Joseph Snyder is one of them.
And to the sadness of all the friends and family of Kurt Smith, he did not grid up. That's going to move the number 81 to the outside of row 1. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler hidey-ho. Without Kurt Smith to his outside, John Wilson gets an easy run into the first corner, tuck it into 7th. Well, that's Michael Goodman in the yellow and red number 28. Matt Hoos, the Hoosinators are happy right now. He's running in 3rd, back half of your top 5. That's Shigala and Donnie Moore. Donnie Moore under challenge right now. Look at the battle. Look at Kibbe trying to make that blue number 13 work on the top.
Yeah, Kibbe and both Shanowski are up there, and it looks like the outside line has some life in it here early on.
If you're scoring at home or even watching alone, oh, Kibbe, it's not blue, it's pink, but it doesn't matter because it still weighs a lot. Donnie Moore got into him. Donnie Moore gets turned around. We got a yellow. I blame myself. I think Donnie Moore was looking back there for a blue car, and all he saw was pink. He thought he was clear. There you see the pink car of Kibbe on the top. Did Moore go up? Did Kibbe come down? They don't pay me enough to make that call.
It was a little bit of both, aided by a little bit of net code there, but I think they were going to touch it regardless of the net code. It was there, but they were going to connect. And unfortunately for Donnie, he was far enough ahead of Kenny there that it turned him front bumper to back bumper, and then put Donnie Moore there into the wall.
Let's go ahead and dial up our race leader right now, John Wilson, sitting up in front. He led the first couple of laps under green. Now he's working his way around under yellow. John and Soup here. You're out in front. You got a little bit of a yellow flag session here to catch your breath. How you feeling?
I don't feel too bad. I know there's a lot of real fast guys behind me, so I'll just see if I can save my stuff and see how long I can hold them all back.
Do your best saving your stuff. Make the car as wide as you can, but stay out front for a while. You got Goodman to your outside and the Hoos behind you. It's a little farther back before you're going to see Shepard. Do you like this track? You feeling comfortable on it?
I'm not really comfortable on any of these tracks, so we just come out and have some fun, and that's all that matters to me.
All right, well, unlike last night, you won't have to make a pit stop or have any pit stop strategy. Let me see. If they double up, I'm going to keep talking to you. If the lights go off, we'll let you go. The lights are off. We'll let you out of here. Hopefully we'll come back and talk to you a little bit about last night. I thought you ran a good race. Good luck.
Thank you, buddy.
John Wilson out in front right now. Oh, so now he's got Goodman to his outside. Who's is next to him? Kurt Smith didn't make the grid. Another veteran, Donnie Moore. He's called it a night. Pace car is in. And John Wilson gets the jump. Let me correct myself. Donnie Moore has brought the car back out, so we still have 19 cars racing, even though he is many laps down. Let's see what Goodman could do on the outside now. He's got to make this work because he got Matt Hoos back there who's not going to let him in. Look at the run from the yellow and red car of Goodman. Goodman has many podiums so far this season. He can get the win, maybe a threat to put an end to Shepard. The outside line looking good, John.
Yeah, it definitely has some life into it. It'll be nice to see if that can maintain throughout the night. They'll give these guys some options and make some racing really prevalent all the way through the pack.
You can hear from the interview with Wilson. He wanted to stay up front, but he wants to do it not at the cost of his tires in the back half of his race. So right now he's trying his best to keep Goodman to the outside without burning up his stuff. Goodman is so close to being clear, but he just can't get it done. Let's see if he gets the momentum out of 4. Down into 1. He continues to be just inches away from clear. They touch. Wilson will lose momentum, and that's the break that Goodman needed. They both keep the cars going straight, but now everyone is single file. Let's drop back. There's a move. Kibbe is still alive. Even though he got into it with Donnie Moore, the 14 is doing good as he works his way around. What the heck is Jeffrey Kemper driving tonight? He's driving my car was a different color. It was Jeffrey Harden, sorry. I was looking at a different color. It looks the same as you should see it normally on your screen. He's right now side-by-side with Joe Segala.
Yeah, it's very Halloween. Got a good Halloween feel to it. But John Goodman. Oh, Mike Goodman.
I've done it.
Yep, he's taking the lead here. And don't look now, but that 98, that J.R. Shepard, he's all the way from 12th to 4th.
You're looking, there is Shanoski able to finally tuck down in there and get that position now. So we're going to throw you up front because the action is up here. Goodman not able to run away from Wilson. Look at who's right behind him as well. All right, it hasn't taken long for J.R. Shepard to pick up 8 positions. And right now, next on the Shepard hit list is Matt Hoos sitting in the 21. There goes Shepard. He's got to the inside. Hoos is not going to force the issue. Boy, Shepard gets that nose down there quick. Now here comes Kibbe right behind. Kibbe's going to try to follow him through. Kibbe probably has the pace to be a challenge to Shepard. Shepard was able to get around him. Kibbe started on the grid ahead of him. Lost some positions when he got into it with Moore, and that's how I think Shepard was able to get by possibly his biggest rival right now. Look at Hoos is not going to give it up. Now, if Hoos can get some momentum, John, maybe he can get to the outside of Wilson and pin Shepard down there.
Yeah, the way that outside line is hung on here, it's a strong possibility that he can.
I don't know what other options he has. He doesn't need Wilson up in front of him right now. He needs Wilson to stay down low to keep Shepard from advancing.
Yeah, and Shepard is actually, not Shepard, but Wilson's, I don't think he's intentionally doing it, but he's coming out of the corner and going out to the wall, which is breaking Hoos's momentum. But then he's diamonding into the corner, turning down into the corner to cover that inside line, breaking Shepard's momentum. And that is actually, I think, what's keeping both Shepard and Hoos side by side.
He's got both of them salivating for the spot right now as Wilson is the carrot in front of a pair of horses. Now they get it sorted out. Shepard does get in front of Hoos. Now look at this. Kibbe would like to get down. Kibbe makes quick work of Hoos, moving up into 4th position. Hoos will settle down into 5th. Remember, it's a long race. Perhaps Hoos racing on the outside there for those laps. Maybe he saved a little bit of his tires. We'll have something for these guys at the end. Goodman not driving away. And as long as Goodman and Wilson up there can keep Shepard and Kibbe at a slower pace, it's good news for the guys that maybe can run them, catch them. Let's look for our big mover. How about we check in on Mark Herzog? Started way back in 15th position. He's looking to pick up another one right now as he dives underneath the 81 of Joe Segala.
Yeah, Mark's done a nice job getting up through the field. And, it looks like all his fenders are all straight. Looks like he's not using that car too much and making quick work of the field here, moving up.
Herzog is another driver that will take his time getting to the front. And if he can catch a late yellow and race up there with those guys, he's got pretty good pace, especially maybe if he has better rubber to put a challenge to the big names like Shepard and Kibbe. Let's look at...
He just bounced off the wall, and he bounces off the wall down the front straightaway. I think, Soup, we might need to look at another camera. I think we jinxed the poor guy.
Just skinning him up. Let's go to Shepard right now. He's trying to see what he can do on Wilson. He's been looking high, been looking well. Working both sides of the street like a jaywalking milkman, as my dad used to say. Gets a good drive off of 2, Now gets a nose down into 3. I don't think Wilson will have anything for him. The question is, can Kibbe get through as well? Kibbe out there in the pink Mountain Dew machine trying to get underneath Wilson. Wilson gave it a good run. Wilson led himself the first 4 laps. No, that correct myself. Many more laps than that. But then he finally had to give up the ghost. 9 laps is what Wilson was able to lead, if I can read the right column on my timing and scoring. Out in front for 21 laps has been Michael Goodman. Well, being ahead of John Wilson is one thing. Having that big number 98 in your rearview mirrors, that's another. Let's see what Goodman can do. Goodman has had pace this season. Many second place finishes. Kibbe watching on. Let's ride on board with the 14. As Shepard gets underneath, we'll get a good view of this from the popcorn position. Shepard's there. Kibbe will now want to close the gap if he can. Shepard and Goodman almost get together. That's going to cost Shepard a little momentum. Shepard again into Goodman, just the slightest ever so. Hello, said J.R. Shepard. And J.R. says, we're going to sit back here and try this one more time. That didn't go quite the way I wanted.
No, and he can't afford to do slides like that too often, or he's going to be in big trouble the second half of this race here. And I mean, you know, JR, we're used to him being calculating, taking care of his stuff, but man, tonight, he's on a mission. Look at him throw that car sideways coming out of 4.
That is not J.R. Shepard-like to see the car looking like that. He's got to catch his breath. He would like to get around Goodman and maybe not let Kibbe get in there as well. Now, notice what Kibbe is doing. If you're new to the Bootleg Racing League, or at least to this series, you probably don't know that Kenny Kibbe certainly has the pace to legitimately give Shepard a run for his money. John, if I look at the way the 98 is racing and the way the 14 is racing, I got to say the 98's working harder. That said, the 14 got into it with Donnie Moore earlier, so you don't know how healthy that car is.
It's healthy enough to work its way back up to 3rd. So
that's true.
You know what? These guys, I was just sitting there maybe a lap or 2 back thinking, man, part of the strategy, again, if you're new to this series, everybody's got to use this set of tires through the whole race. You know, there's not coming in and getting fresh tires. They've got to make their tires last. And Soup, how many times have we seen leads evaporate, big leads, half-track leads?
You know, rarely do we see a lead evaporate. What we usually see is a lead just disintegrate, because when these tires go, they go quick, and we've seen giant leads disappear just in a few laps. Look at Shepard now. He's really working on this. We'll get farther back in the field. We'll talk a little about some of these other drivers in a minute. It won't be long till the 98 makes the pass for the lead, and we don't want to miss it. We want to try to get it to you live.
Yeah, and the big question is when he does it, what is he gonna have left? Because I'm watching the back ends of their cars, and JR is hung out way more than what Kenny is. That right rear on JR's car is taking a pounding right now, and what it looks like JR's trying to do is turn under the 28 as he comes out of it right there. He pitches it sideways, but he's trying to get his nose in underneath that 28 car as they come out of the corner, so it sets him up to the next corner, and he just has not been able to make that work so far.
We didn't talk about it because we just assume everyone knows. It is 100 laps. We keep talking about tires. They don't get new tires here. They can certainly come in for a pit stop, although it's hard to have a good finish when you do have to come in for a pit stop for repairs. But if you do come in, you can't change tires, and JR's out there working really hard. This is probably one of the longest stints we've ever stayed on a 2-car battle like this, and I promise you we're going to get farther back to look at some of the other drivers, especially our spotlighted driver, Jeffrey Happy Kemper, right now. But we're going to stay here for a minute, because it's not often you get to see Shepard struggle like he is to get around somebody. Michael Goodman really putting up a good run right now, leading 38 laps.
Yeah, and we really should sing his praises right now because he's not missing his marks. It's all, it looks like he's just driving out his front windshield, not looking in that rear mirror, hitting his marks. He's doing a fantastic job. And I'll tell you, we were talking about Kibbe just a second ago about not using his tires up. Well, I've watched that pink number 14 bounce off both the front and backstretch walls a couple times now over the last few laps. So he could be seeing some issues a little bit later. while Goodman is just hitting his marks, running his line. Now the question is how hard is he running with that 98 right on his back bumper?
What I was noticing, and John, I really want you to correct me if I've got this wrong. I noticed the Shepherd tries to make the pass, at least when he was doing out of 4 and out of 2. Try to get the car down in there rather than a dive into 1 and 3. Do I have that right?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. That's why he's kicking that back end out. He's trying to get that nose inside the left rear of that 28 car as you come out of the corner. That is the best way to set up a pass, because then you take the entry to the next corner away, and he's got to run up the track, and JR can just run it right on the bottom. That is what he's been trying to do, but he's been breaking his momentum by kicking that car sideways by turning down.
Boy, you look at the way that Goodman is just smooth as a new jar of peanut butter right now is Michael Goodman. Clearly does not have the pace to run away from Shepherd, at least right now he doesn't. But just by the way, can we go on board? We're going to take a look at Michael Goodman's hands. Let's go on board. I know this. Let's see how smooth it is. I'll tell you if Shepherd makes a move, because you will be able to see it from this point of view. John, by my take, by Bootleg Racing League standards, that's a pretty calm steering wheel.
Yeah, not a whole lot of right and left. It's a very slow move in right here as he goes into the corner. Look how slowly he's turning that wheel in. He's not putting a lot in, so he's not putting a lot of stress on that right front tire. That is a sign that he's probably been able to save his stuff while he's still having enough pace to keep that 98 right behind him. But look at, as you look at it, just look, he's hitting the same spots on the track every time. And we're going through 1 and 2. He's right down. You see a little black strip that's like right there, like would be a little white line. And he's hitting it just perfect. Over here, same thing. Now, when he gets over here again to 1 and 2, I'm going to be quiet and listen to the throttle. You hear how he's just rolling out of the throttle? And watch, he'll do the same thing here. And it's just like a song, and you do it lap after lap, and that's what helps get drivers into a rhythm. You can hear that sound, your foot matches, it's dancing. You're dancing on the pedals based on your sounds, and this is why he's being that smooth. He's just in a rhythm.
Tip of the hat to Bobby Hayes, who does a good job letting the leaders go by. All 3 cars go by without a problem. Goodman, Shepherd, and Kibbe as well. Nice job. We're going to leave this battle for just a minute. We got to talk about our spotlighted driver. He's beginning to fall. Jeffrey Kemper. He was racing up in 9th position when I looked at him last. Boy, he got stuck on the outside. He lost position to Weinerker, Belke, Dean, Snyder. They all went around him. Now Kemper, last car on the lead lap. We can't stay there too long. Let's go back up to the leaders. If you are new to a VGN broadcast and the Bootleg Racing League, this is a rarity where we focus so much of the attention up front. But J.R. Shepherd is really beginning not only to annoy Michael Goodman, but annoy this commentator as well, as he's unable to make the pass on Goodman. He's been trying to do it for the last, I'm not going to exaggerate, 30 laps. They are beginning to distance themselves from Kibbe.
They sure are, and and laps are ticking away here. We had the caution, on lap 4? It's been green since. And we're up to lap 65. I mean, we're getting into the time where that pay window opens and it's go time. And I'll tell you this, back in 1980, I remember a guy named Al Michaels saying, "Do you believe in miracles?" But it's not going to be quite on that stage of the Olympics there with, the U.S. beating the Soviets. But, man, I tell you, what an upset this would be if Goodman's able to hang on to this thing.
So smooth. Shepherd within 6 inches of his bumper as he knows just how long his number 98 is. You got to figure he's got to make it pretty soon. He's working so hard. But with that said, Goodman clearly not driving away from it. Those 2 guys are gapping Kibbe. Matt Hoos, long forgotten. Let's give a tip of the hat. Let's go back, look at the 75 at John Wilson. He started up on front. Well, he's got himself a top 5 right now. Harden trying to run him down. Not a lot of battles going on back. If you were looking for a battle, the best one out in front, Goodman and Shepherd. Who are they running up on? Oh, it's our spotlighted driver, Jeffrey Happy Kemper. John, always the optimist, picked the over. Well, unless there's some serious attrition ahead of Jeffrey, I don't think he's going to get to the 11th position here tonight. He was running well for a while.
He was, and I don't know if he had a moment on track where it just kind of cost him a bit, or what the situation is.
He got freight trained. He was running well. He just got freight trained.
And both Shepard and Goodman bounce off the wall coming out front. We got a caution. Oh, there's a wreck right in front of the leaders. Oh my God, Goodman. Oh my, barely got around that.
That was the number 4 of Daryl Weinerker. He had contact made from the 23 of Brian Dean. Brian Dean got into him. Weinerker came right down. I think Joseph Snyder might have got a piece of him going around. Yeah, he did actually help them spin a little bit. And they came around, and Goodman was able to woe up. Kemper, who was on the outside of Goodman, he was able to get by as well. Well, my goodness. Let's dial up multi-time champion J.R. Shepard. And John, I'll let you talk to him.
JR, this is John up in the booth. You got me? JR, this is John up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, I got you, John.
All right, man. I'll tell you what. You know I'm a dirt guy. I've seen you run the dirt, and I'm going to tell you, you've had that back hung out quite a bit here tonight. Any concerns on those tires, or you think the car's still under you pretty good?
I think we're okay on tires. I'm just trying to knock it sideways on purpose. This thing's so freaking tight through the middle of the corner, so just not allowing us to do a whole lot out here. And I'm trying to get those rear tires a little hot without making them mad. But yeah, it's going to be hard. The outside's been pretty decent, but now there's a bunch of rubber up there, so I don't think it's going to work too well here.
Well, I've noticed that you've been trying to kind of, almost diming the exit there, get your nose to the inside of Goodman there coming out of the corner. What more? Do you need a little more forward bite, or is it you just not keeping your momentum up to be able to get that nose in there?
I need the car not to be tight. It's push loose, so you got so much wheel cranked into it that on corner exit it jumps sideways. So just need the car to be freer through the center.
All right, bud. Well, lights are out here. Buckle up, pull them belts tight, and go get them, man.
John, I want to drill down a little bit on that. Once we get back under green, we'll call this start. Let's see what Shepard can do on the outside. As expected, Goodman gets a good start. Shepard has room to tuck in underneath Kibbe. Now, if Kibbe has been playing possum back there saving his stuff, now's the time to go. Other drivers who might be doing the same thing, Matt Hoos, you never know what Hoos has been up to. He really hasn't been racing.
JR's got it right here. JR's got it right here. Oh, and a caution. Right there. Oh, that right there was going to be the move.
We'll take a look at it. What I think on this incident was Pearson got into the back of Segala, then rolled up, and it was an accordion effect, and Belke got into Pearson, put him around, and then there was nowhere for Kemper to go. Our spotlighted driver, things have gone south. He's not a happy Kemper right now.
No, and he hit that wall hard enough that he might have a little bit of damage, and that's going to really affect that car from here on in.
Oh my goodness, Shepard was almost there. John, Can you drill down a little bit? What was he talking about? Getting the rear tires hot without making them angry. Do you know what he meant by that?
I do, and these tires, if they cool off, the beginning of a run or whatever, they don't have the grip. There's an optimal temperature that the tires have to hit. Here in iRacing, the tires go through these heat cycles. He is trying to get enough heat in them, enough grip into those back tires, and I'm guessing if you're going to ask him, he's going to talk about his left rear tire more than the right, so he can get that drive up out of the corner a little bit better to get that forward. But when he's got, when they're a little bit hot, they get a little bit greasy, and that'll help the car turn. But it also, like I said, when you get that heat in it, that's how he's expecting it to help him turn. Just because they get hot, lose a little grip, the car gets a little loose.
Viewers, we're going to spend almost the entire 17 laps, 16 laps to go of this focused up front. The drama is just too big to miss. They double up right now. We're going to watch this start. They're going to be working lap number 84. They come across. A great start from Goodman, but now Shepard has real problems as we got more banging going on. We got another yellow. That was great news for Shepard as he was going to lose second position. This caution, this time, it involves John Wilson. And I think Wilson may have spun the tires going green, and the 79, I believe that's Dean, right, who's in the 79. Do I have that?
Adam Shane. Adam Shane.
Adam Shane may, that's unusual for Adam Shane. I think Shane snuck up on the outside of him, and Wilson maybe didn't know he was there. Well, I think the first yellow that we had maybe stole a pass for the lead away from Shepard. I think this yellow may have kept Shepard from losing. There you see the two get in together, and then that's Segala and then Belke getting involved in that one as well.
Yeah, this caution helped JR, no doubt about it, because I think Kenny had position there to the inside for sure.
You know, the way that iRacing is lining them up, I'm looking here. Unless Kibbe is up to something, he's lined up in second. iRacing is telling me J.R. Shepard should be the second place driver. Oh, I'm looking at Belke, and he's a lap down. My director helping me out there. Thank you very much. Let's see if they double up this time. My goodness. Now you've got to start to worry. 12 laps to go. The lights stay on. I just don't want to bother anybody with a... Let's dial up Kenny Kibbe. We'll talk to him real quick. He's always never short for words. Kenny, you had a chance a second there. I can't talk to you long because we're going to go green here soon. You got anything for Shepard?
Yeah, I mean, if I get lucky on a restart. I had a really good jump the last time, but then we got the quick caution. But I'm just trying to kind of survive and learn as I go through this race. So just trying to bring it home in one piece.
It's been impressive. You had contact early. You've got it back up to third. Good luck. We'll keep an eye on it. Kenny Kibbe running in third right now. Oh, my goodness. There'll be 10 laps to go. You know, crowded house comes to mind. There's freedom within, there's freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. Hey now, don't dream it's over. You know that they won't win. And the they we're talking about is Michael Goodman, and I recite those lyrics for J.R. Shepard, but he is in trouble right now. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Shepard trying to get the perfect season. The laps are running out. Michael Goodman has put on a clinic. He's not the fastest car out there, but he's the widest car out there. Shepard got a little bit of the wall that time, John.
He did, and he's still trying to get that little bit of a crossover, try to get under him coming out of the corner. And I've looked for him maybe to start entering the corner just a little bit higher than what Goodman is, and then watch from about the center to turn down. That's a patent JR move. There he is right there, a little bit higher entry. Tries to get low, but Goodman is right there where JR needs to be coming out of the corner. Man, this is getting tight.
Working lap number 94. Shepard clearly faster than the yellow Goodman. Look at the drive that time. That was a different line out of 2. He takes it really wide into 3. Gets a great run out of 4. There's nowhere to go. He looks to the outside. He's going to try it around the top side. He said that there's dirty marbles out there. He's really high now. Oh, man, he lost all momentum.
Yeah, he sure did right there. And, oh, now he's made those tires mad. Look at him shaking the car back and forth. He's trying to clean the tires off because he got up in those marbles. And believe it or not, iRacing allows you to pick marbles up on those tires.
Michael Goodman have won many a race in iRacing platform. I don't know if any race win will be sweeter for the New York driver than to stop the deluge that has been Shepard's season 23 performance. They're working lap number 98 right now. Goodman with a 3-car length lead.
And JR's not closing that gap.
I think he gave it all that he had. He made a last-ditch effort trying to take the car around top. A yellow flag could give us a green-white checkered. We are 2 corners away from the point of no return. We are there. White flag for Michael Goodman. He threw corner number 1. He threw corner number 2. The cars in front of him, there's no incidents. The track is clean through 3 and through 4. It has come to an end. 7 in a row, not 8 in a row for Shepard. The win goes to Michael Goodman, and the perfect season is over.
Wow.
That's why the Mona Lisa, Citizen Kane.
You know, Soup, we're so keyed on that. Somehow Jeff Harden comes home 3rd. Where was he on that final restart? He was like I don't think he was in the top 5. He got around Hussein Kibbe.
Well, we'll find out about that as he's made it to the podium. We'll get to talk to him, along with Goodman and Shepard as well. Well, enjoy the Hallelujah chorus for this perfection, because you're not going to see it here tonight. We'll be back in a few. Don't go far. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.
Chuckles, I'm in danger. 250 can possibly go to the outside. He does go to the outside of Ricky Harden, tries to slide draft him. Harden goes up the track, now back down to the bottom, gets a huge push from Tommy Ryan at the start finish. It's going to be Thomas George.
Running the high line, trying to make that
got
pass.
loose off turn 4.
In the grass goes the 6 car, and they were side by side, 2 by 2 here.
Scott Eckman winning the last race of the season and the championship.
Jeff Ford definitely getting the championship for season 2.
Give it up for Thomas George, winning the race and the championship. George overshoots the corner. Scott puts that car just where he needs to on the middle. It's going to be a drag race through the kick.
Welcome back to Southern National Speedway and VGN's 8th round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's Late Model Invitational Series, sponsored by Gargamel's Kitchen. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. For the first time this season, the first name I read is not J.R. Shepard. Rather, it is the New York driver, number 28, Michael Goodman. He led 91 of the 100 laps and was able to hold off J.R. Shepard and put an end to the quest for a perfect season by J.R. Shepard, as Shepard will have to settle for second. Jeffrey Harden, as my partner John Hine noted, made a great run at the end, able to get around Hoos and Kibbe for that final podium spot. We'll talk to Brandy's husband and find out how he was able to do that. The back half of your top 5. Well, the Hoosinators are happy. Matt Hoos got 4th. Kenny Kibbe, he faded down into 5th. Then you got 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Go to Mark Herzog, Matt Shinosky, Todd Liston, Adam Shane, and Joe Segala. We apologize to them and the rest of the field that did not get the usual TV coverage that we would get because the racing up front was so extraordinary. John?
Yeah, coming home 11th is our over-under driver, Jeff Kemper. And
hey!
That's the win, right?
That's the under you got there, man.
Oh, I'm going to have to send him a virtual beer or something. Made me look smart tonight. But Jeffrey Kemper comes home 11th, followed by Bobby Hayes. Austin Belkey, then Joseph Snyder, and Bruce Pearson, and comes home in 15th. 16th is going to be Brian Dean, 17th, John Wilson, 18th, Daryl Weiniger. And rounding out our field, the 19th and 20th is going to be Donnie Moore and Kurt Smith.
I'll tell you, do Simon and Poindexter know how to put a line, right? At 11.5, Kemper comes in at 11. Congratulations to him. Sorry, Jeffrey, we weren't able to get to you a lot of screen time because, as I mentioned before, the action up front was so ferocious. Let's go ahead and talk to one of the drivers that was part of that ferocity, and that is Michael Goodman. We'll bring him in right now. Mike, your car may not have been the fastest on the track. It was the widest.
Thanks, Soup. Hold on a second, okay? I'm sorry.
That's fine. Michael Goodman has had a couple seconds so far this season, and now he's got himself his first win. Obviously, as Shepard has been dominating that position. You with us, Mike?
Yes, I am. Thanks.
All right. Tell us a little bit about that one. Very, very smooth up front.
Well, hey, let's. In reality, think about it. He came from 15th, and he finished second. I started third. I finished first. I mean, he still came from a far back, but you know what? I'm not going to diminish my performance because I did have to keep him behind me for 50, 60 laps or whatever it was, and then, you know, for the final 20. So, yeah, it's a very satisfying win for sure.
You know, John and I were talking during the break before we brought it to you, and there are a lot of drivers that have a history with J.R. Shepard that would not have been able to do what you just did because they would have been turned. I'm not saying Shepard's a dirty driver, but you know, there are every driver has somebody on their that they remember in the back of their mind. This win is not only a credit to your racing skills, but also to the way you drive. As Shepard, you knew that you didn't deserve to be pushed.
No, that man has always raced. As far as seriously, I'm sorry, not to be man. JR is. Every time I race him, he never put a fender to me. And, I mean, I wouldn't put a fender to anyone anyway, regardless on how they drove me, you know, anyway. But if I did happen to get in contact with an individual that I felt was, you know, unjust and stuff like that, I mean, I wouldn't lose sleep over it if I accidentally, you know, gave him a bump or something. I'm just talking relatively and stuff like that, you know? I get
you. All right. I've been covering races with you for a while that goes way back to Lionheart. Obviously, you've had wins in iRacing, but stopping J.R. Shepard's streak to perfection got to rank up there as one of the bigger ones, right?
This is probably the second greatest win I've had in my racing career is when I joined iRacing. Believe it or not, the first one was winning that All-Star race at Rockingham. I'm not sure if you remember that one or not. I won that, but this was really right behind it. I mean, this was, you know, kept the best driver in the league behind you for God knows how long.
Seemed like a long time, yeah. Well done, Michael. Congratulations, and let's try to make it 2 in a row next week.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. You know, I'm just going to relish in tonight. I practiced like a son of a gun for this race. I couldn't even tell you how many practice laps I did. You would just get nauseated. But you know, I just want to give you guys a thanks for the awesome broadcasts every week in and week out. Also want to give you know, a shout out to Lowe and stuff like that, and Gargamel's Kitchen, of course, for sponsoring this series and stuff like that.
It's great to have you racing in the series. The series is better for it. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you down the road.
Appreciate it, Soup. You guys have a nice night.
Michael Goodman with the win. Okay, John, you get the pleasure of talking to J.R. Shepard.
Hey, JR, this is John. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, man, you know, all good things come to an end here. And tonight, even though I know you're one rung on the podium there lower than what you wanted to be. I am going to tell you that was a fantastic race with a lot of respect shown. Walk me through those laps and tell me how you threw everything but the kitchen sink at them.
I appreciate you saying that, John. So, yeah, it's a tough race for sure. First off, congratulations to Michael. He ran a great race at this track as far as everything you need to do to hold off the guys behind you. So, yeah, congrats to him on the big win. It's again not the first time he's done that. So, I've said before that he's capable of winning these races. And yeah, I've recently been called a little bit of a dirty driver, and also that I have an inferiority complex with not being the fastest all the time. So I think tonight I proved that different. So hopefully everybody watching at home, like you said, can understand the respect level that was shown tonight, because there was definitely a couple of times where I could have dove it to the inside or used the bumper to bump him, and I didn't do that because it's not the right thing to do, especially in this type of league racing. So yeah, that was my main thing. I tend to race people with a ton of respect, especially when it's shown back to me, and I hope that it at least put on a good show for everybody tonight.
It certainly did. The one move I'd like to go back and talk to you about is the one there, I don't know, maybe 3, maybe 4 laps to the end, where you had a really good run to the outside and the nose of the car took off on you coming out of 2. Was that... And then I noticed you shaking the car. Did that just get rubber onto your tires, or were you trying to check it for damage because you kind of pounced off the wall? What happened there?
No, I made the slightest contact with the wall. It didn't even throw up a 0X or anything. But yeah, it's like I said during that caution interview that I didn't think the outside was going to work because of all the marbles up there. And I was right. As soon as you could go into the corner, the first time you could stick your nose out there and get a run going on the outside into the corner, and as soon as your right front got into the marbles, it just went straight. So did everything I could to keep from smacking the wall, and tried to clean it off, but I think more than anything, once that front tire slid, it just got it too hot, and I couldn't even get back to him after that. So tough race on the outside there. The one restart, I had a shot to get to the inside of him, and the caution came out right when it happened. And then another restart, I was kind of saved because I was in that outside and Kenny was getting ready to pass me. So things kind of equaled out tonight, but it was a tough race for sure. One that you had to manage your tires and make sure you had something at the end.
Well, I'm going to leave you with this question here. When you guys were all under a blanket there, take our viewers into the cockpit and into the helmet actually here. And how do you push, because you guys didn't look, it looks like you're not saving a whole lot. But, I mean, can you race that hard and save?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the track too, John. This one's really tough to do that because the setups tend to be really tight through the center like I talked about. So you can't push extremely hard, otherwise you're just going to kill the front tires and not have anything. So I was probably pushing a little bit more than I needed to, just trying to set up that pass, but it just wasn't going to happen tonight. And a lot of the tracks you can push pretty hard. It all comes down to your steering input and your throttle and brake inputs that you're doing. If you make sure that you don't overstep your bounds with those in the corner, you can still turn really fast lap times without killing your stuff.
I gotcha. Well, JR, it was a great race to watch tonight. You really you guys put on a heck of a show here, and one I'll even go back and watch here after we're done. But anybody you'd like to just kind of give a shout out to here for tonight?
Yeah, just again, congratulations to Michael for getting the big win tonight, and Jeffrey coming home in third. Bootleg Racing League for giving us a place to come out and have fun on the weekends. Appreciate that. Gargamel's Kitchen continuing to be a title sponsor that, I can't even tell you how great of a partner that they've been with this series to stick around for as long as they have. So really appreciate everything they're doing. My team, Different Path Motorsports, and of course, everything that you guys continue to do up in the Virtual Grip Network booth, guys. We appreciate you.
Thank you, JR. Have a good week, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep. Thanks, John.
Yep. That's JR Shepard, our second place finisher. And Soup, I think you've caught up with Jeff Harden here.
Indeed, I have. Jeff, Brandy's not going to really enjoy watching this broadcast because the action was so ferocious up front. We didn't get to see a lot of you work your way through the field this time. And we noticed, can you explain how you got this podium spot? Because last time I checked on you with a few laps to go, you were racing at least in 5th and 6th. Next thing I look up, you're in 3rd.
Yeah, I started 5th on that last restart, and Kenny and Matt kind of got into it and drove each other up the track and opened the door up for me, and I got my nose in there and kind of made it stick.
All right, well, their mistake was your gain. How'd the car race?
It was good. It was a little tight early on. I got stuck up outside my teammate Joe up on the top and kind of got my tires hot, so I had to back off and kind of cruise around for a while. And I think that ended up helping me out in the end.
Working your way through the field, was this all done on the bottom side, or did you have to go up top for a while? It looked like most of the stuff we saw was down low.
No, I made a couple passes up top. After about 40, 50 laps, and as long as you could keep them tight down and you get them a little bit loose and you didn't get up in the marbles, you'd be all right.
Okay, we can't get you out of here without one more comment. Seems so trivial, but I got to talk to you always about your paint scheme. You're running another new one. What is this one? Is it orange? Help me out. Is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, that's Bolt House Farms. That's my employer. I figure I got to give them a shout out every once in a while. So.
Oh yeah, well, they're paying the rent and the mortgage, baby. Well, congratulations on the third place finish. Always nice to hear from you, man.
All right, thanks, Soup.
All right, thank you. That was Jeffrey Harden, a very quiet third place. We're going to try to make this a really fast closing because we went really long on the interviews because it was so important to talk to all the drivers. If you like what you saw tonight, it's Gargamel's Kitchen. They're a food-grade nitrous oxide provider located in Denver, Colorado, and a proud sponsor of the Bootleg Racing League. Visit their office at 2045 South Valencia Street or give them a call at 720-707-6178. Even the one is going to be shorter than usual. You know, if you like what you saw tonight, you can watch it again. It's going to come up on the screen for you right now. Boom! There it is. Check. You can read with me. It's going to be next week, same time. Before that, there's one on Tuesday night. It's the no, let me correct myself. It is that. All right, so it's the Super Late Model Series. Don't come Tuesday. This is getting longer than I thought. There is no race here on Tuesday night, so we'll see you on Friday night for the Super Late Models. We're going to be going to Hickory. All right, that's not in Indiana where the Hoosiers are. If you watch that movie Hoosiers. All right, take that thing down, and I'll close it up now with this broadcast. And this one and all the other ones have been a production of the Virtual Grid Network. So with that, we're going to put a lock on the gate and quickly say, until next time, have fun storming the castle.